afternoon and welcome to Foshty Conversations. My name is Zaya Felix and this is Foshty. I'll give you a little bit of a background on what Foshty is. Okay. Foshty is From Our Shithole Countries to You, which is a platform that I hope to explore and talk about the wonderful things that African immigrants or immigrant descendants are bringing to the diaspora, to the world. I am here today with Lynn, and
hey guys,
and we are going to talk about our lives, parents, generational differences, our business ideas, business plans, thoughts, initiatives, really general conversation. Thank you for joining us.
And that was an amazing introduction. By the way, you did say you were going to tell us what Foshty is about, so you haven't really said anything about Foshty.
Give more details.
Yes.
Okay. So, Foshty, From Our Shithole Countries to You, as I mentioned, is an idea for a platform where we can talk about things from the African immigrant perspective. I feel like when the idea first came up, of course, it was in response to the President of the United States and his comment about not wanting immigrants from shithole countries. And I remember there was all this uproar and frustration about the idea. How dare you say we're shithole countries? But there was also the perspective that in some ways, we could be better. We could be better, and we're not really where we could be, considering all the brain options and brain power that's available in the continent.
Agreed.
So I woke up one day and the thought of considering us a gift, or considering us having being a benefit to where we are and all that we have to offer. So that's how the idea for Foshty came along. I intend to have conversations with people like you, conversations with younger people who are in college or who are still getting started, and really just have a platform where we can discuss not just ideas, but what we have brought to the table. There's so many wonderful things that I believe African immigrants are doing, not just in the US, in the UK, in Latin America, all over the world. But sometimes we don't hear those stories. We hear a lot more stories about what we haven't done well. And the goal is to have a platform where we can discuss things that we are more positive and things that shine a light on the good things that we are doing and the good ideas that we're bringing and the new initiatives and projects and everything else from a positive perspective. And also to have some fun with it, right? Like, I mean, Foshty is a little tongue-in-cheek where it's saying from our shithole countries, but the idea is that we're bringing good things, even quote, if it's from a shithole country. I am starting with just conversations and general interactions with other people. Eventually there'll be more things, and we'll just see how it evolves, but right now it's just to really touch base with people, learn from what people are doing, and see what the future holds.
I do know that you're being very humble with your ideas and your the stretch of work you've done. Speaking to you and getting to know a lot more about your background and even pointing out how articulate you are, I think that you should touch softly on your viewers will appreciate that and appreciate the intensity of the level of knowledge that you have and the level of ideas that you work with. She's a walk-in, by the way, she's a walk-in encyclopedia. She's very knowledgeable.
Thank you.
The short conversation we have, this was unplanned, by the way.
Yeah, this is totally unplanned.
Yeah, we're talking about businesses, and I consider her a power woman, and myself. We're talking about ideas and ways to develop other people and each other, and even our kids. And when this came up, so I told her, like, you have to share this. We need this. We have to put it out there and talk about it. I know this is a platform that she already has. She's downplaying a lot of her achievements and accomplishments. I want her to talk just a soft touch on your background, educational background.
Oh, okay, that. All right. So myself personally, I guess I'll state a full name. Ezenwai. First name is Ezenwai Abi, Nigerian, Igbo. Background, JD MBA. I'm an attorney. I'm an attorney and I've owned a few businesses. I do have a corporate job. Over the years, I believe in exploring whatever gifts come your way. So yes, I've published a couple of books. I've published a poetry book and a couple of Igbo books. I have designed bags at some point in my life. I am into real estate where I do sell and buy, and I help others do that as well. I have goals to have my own law practice and a brokerage company, but this is a long-term thing. I believe much in laying foundations for what you're trying to build, so we don't just wake up tomorrow and become giants. There's a building process. And this is all part of the building process. Even with Foshty, the goal is once again to build not just myself, but with other people and people like you. I mean, I found out about Ziva's World through another friend of mine before we actually met, which we're going to get to.
Yes.
But it's there is power in encouraging each other and getting ourselves to aim higher than where we are, which also ties into the Foshty concept, knowing that we could do so much more. Our parents went through certain experiences for us to be where we are now. It behooves us to just be there and enjoy the things that come from it, you know, be it the vacations or the cars or the clothes or the bags or whatever, but actually have something else that we are implanting in other people and in the future generation in how we do it. Which would pull me to Ziva's World and now about you and what you're doing. Kids, so tell us a little bit more of what Ziva's World is.
Let's talk about the amazingness of Ziva's World. So Ziva's World is an animated brand that I created to attack societal issues and challenges that kids are facing today. So I decided to do this using animated colorful characters. You've seen them, they're bright, funny, happy, because I needed the kids to be attentive because we have a message in every episode. So why I thought about doing this, I know I've spoken to her about the connection and everything about this, but we'll get to that in a bit. But Ziva's World in its own is basically bridging the gap amongst kids across the world. We are promoting global citizenship. We're promoting building empathy in children, teaching them how to be accountable for each other. And we just released our first episode on our YouTube channel.
You have to check it out.
You do.
You have to check it out.
This episode was featuring a Yemen character who was talking about her country, her culture, religion, and all of that. And it just teaches the kids on how to be accepting of other people, culture, religion-wise, the differences. And our second episode is basically highlighting autism and teaching children how to be empathy and know when to pull back and know how to support each other. So every episode is very intentional and guiding children on our daily activities, because we're lacking a lot of things in this world, and love should not be what is lacking, because it seems like it's starting to happen. We're starting to lose touch of that. And so that's my goal. That's my main purpose. Like I have listened. I have and my brand is very intentional. It's for people. It's for me. It's for us. It's for everyone, and not just children. Adults are also enjoying it and getting the feel from it. So I'm happy. I'm excited about it. Ziva's World is Zivas WORLD. Check it out and you will enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because, I mean, we've seen the first episode, and as you said, you're very intentional with the message you're putting out there. Yeah. You're also addressing topics that are a little, how do I say, that are very critical, right? It's not just, oh, let's have fun and let's play. You're really trying to get to opening up the minds of younger children about certain ideas and concepts that we may not necessarily address, like the Yemeni girl that's in the first episode that talks about her culture and how her classmates gather around her, and I mean even just in what she's wearing and how they dress and all that stuff. So it is absolutely impressive that you are sharing that and bringing that in a platform that people may not always, think about.
The one thing I did not mention though is that every episode is an actual story of a child. The Yemenian character is someone that I know. So I am autistic character, someone who know. I also have an episode with a cross-eyed character. I remember having a conversation with my friend, and she was telling me, like, listen, the only content out there for cross-eyed characters are caricatures. Oh, wow. People are always laughing at us, and so she said this will be different, and that's what I do. Right. I also have an app which is more like a social media for kids. Create an open avenue for everyone to go and have these conversations. You want to share your stories? That's fine. We may be able to turn your story into one of our animations so that we can get the word out there. So I am happy that I'm able to address the cross-eye. Yeah, my friend, she gave me one of her life experiences, which is what I'm using, and all of our storylines are very authentic, real stories, which is why our vision statement is attacking societal issues that children are facing today. These are real stories. We are very serious about that. As like she said, our stories are very intentional, and they're real life happenings. So I mean, it's an open avenue for everyone. You want to share your story, you want to reach out, you want to talk. We have my brand is very interactive. That's my main goal. It needs to be interactive. Children need to cross interact through the world. Like my app
and learn.
And learn.
Yeah.
My app basically is giving children an opportunity to showcase their areas, their environments, their people, their food, their culture.
So with the app, they can engage with other kids as well.
And teach children.
And learn. I mean, essentially you're learning while sharing.
Exactly. And there's no inbox in this app. Parents don't get nervous. There's no inbox.
Right.
So every interaction
it's all out in the open.
out there. Yes.
Yeah, that's
every
great.
interaction is out there. There's parental controls. You have the power to restrict the content that your child can see, restrict how involved you want your child to be. But there's really nothing there to see. It's for children, just showing pictures of their environment, of their playgrounds, of people around them, of food. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's something that we can learn from.
A cross-cultural experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that.
Right.
As we mentioned earlier, this was absolutely informal. We didn't actually plan to talk today, so we didn't plan to have an episode. We were hanging out on Saturday with our kids who were about the same age, and we were just talking and
I got a free t-shirt.
Oh yeah, she has a Foshty t-shirt. And really part of the conversation, I think part of really how we got to where we are is one, our culture, right? Being Nigerian, for instance, you're not always encouraged to explore your creative pursuits or the other avenues of things that you like. I can use myself as an example. Yeah, I went to law school, I went to business school, but I also have this strong desire to do things like this that are more, off the beaten path, I guess. And you shared a similar experience, just wanting to do something more creative with Ziva's world and being encouraged to maybe go to med school or do something else. How do you find our experiences growing up and now being in the US and raising our kids and being intentional in what we teach them and how we teach them? Because we still want them to earn money and make sure they're okay. But what are some of your experiences or your thoughts around that? How do we navigate, or how have you been able to navigate that space where you want to make sure that they explore the things that they are gifted with, while also maintaining the traditional expectation about education and academics?
I know that we did speak about this, and I am a firm believer of letting your children explore. My intake on this is that, well, like I was sharing with her earlier, my child is very artistic. Not autistic. Yeah, she loves to draw. She's very. From her progress reports and reports we've gotten from babysitters, teachers, everyone, we get the same report. So I'm intentional with my children. I make sure that I nurture whatever it is they're showing me, because we really didn't get that. I know growing up, I know what I showed interest in, and I know what my father did not like. So I couldn't have these conversations with them. My father wanted. I like to think that I'm a smart person, book smart, but it just wasn't my thing. I knew that I wanted to be more creative than be a lawyer.
Focused on academia all day.
I can't. Like with this conversation we've had, she's used 20 million big words.
No, oh my goodness, it's not that bad.
My message is simple and easy. So.
It's I mean, our culture, and I think we talked about this too, because what happens is our parents come from a perspective of, survival and making sure that you're well established and you're good and you're respected. Right. So it's the lawyer, it's the doctor, it's the engineer, it's the whatever else that fits into that respect thing. And we want that for our kids, but we also want them to really, because we do realize what we may have missed. As I said to you, I want to write. I enjoy writing. I enjoy podcasts and conversations with people and finding a way to make that something that I do more regularly. I like talking to people, but I also have to function in an environment where I'm going to work every day and I'm sitting down and you have to be very serious and very focused. Then you'll see our kids who are pretty young now and you think, okay, I want the best for them in the future. but I also want them to really fulfill their purpose.
Right.
I really want them to really explore the things that they really care about and the things they really want to do. And it's always this balance of how we do that, which naturally will pull me to motherhood, you know, doing that as well. How do you do that? Because you know how our parents tried to raise us once.
Yes.
And here we are raising 2 little girls.
Yes. My goal is to raise a well-rounded child.
Yeah.
I want her to thrive academically. I want her to thrive socially. I want her to thrive in everything that she does. So I am creating all this. Well, not creating. I am letting her create all of what an ideal. I'm paying attention to her interest and letting her create what her basically shape her future, letting her make the decisions for herself. Yeah. Of course, I'm here to guide her. I'm here to guide her. I'm here to lead and here to help with the decisions she's making. Whatever she does, I pay attention. Like I told you, I enrolled her in several courses and several activities to see how well she thrives in these things, and whatever piques her interest and whatever she chooses to stick with is what I'll nurture and what I will capitalize on. Yeah. So I want her to be happy in life because, like, honestly, the goal in life is to be happy. You cannot. I for one cannot. Like depression with all of the Mercury in retrograde. That's what.
Oh wow! Yeah. That was a heavy year. I mean, 2019 was heavy with the Mercury retrograde situation.
Yes, I think that.
Because if you're even a little bit into astrology, it's been a crazy year.
I just know that everything just seemed weird, and when I was researching, that's what came up.
This year, I'm not heavy into astrology.
I'm not,
sure.
but I do for some reason. I believe it, and everyone's mental state has been questioned and tested. So I need my children to be strong mentally, physically, emotionally. And whether I'm here or not, what I've learned is that the best gift to give your children is how to live on without you. Mm-hmm. So I need my child to be as creative as possible, creative in ideas and how to survive and how to interact with people and how to grow.
And how to adapt.
Yes.
It's such a thing where you see people aren't always quick to adapt. And survival of the fittest requires that you're able to adapt.
Exactly. I want them to thrive academically. Right. I think that it's important. But I still, like I said, I want them to be very well rounded. I'll teach them how to read and all, but also teach them other things.
Right. More.
I want to teach them more. I want to be that parent. I mean, greatness is not made in a day. We see all of this. My husband and I were speaking the other day, and we're talking about just like this athlete. We're watching a baseball game. I, for one, don't understand baseball, but I just like the hype around it.
Houston was in the World Series or playoffs.
I scream when they scream. How about that?
I can't.
I drink their drinks. I even fell asleep.
Oh.
But when I fell asleep on the couch, and when they're screaming, jubilating, I joined that.
Like joining, whatever happens.
So just all of that, my husband and I were talking about this, like all of these athletes become great because not just the mom, the fathers. What I've learned is that men are better teachers.
And I can see that. I think in my household is the same thing. Like
most men are better teachers. They're stern, they impose value, and all of that in children. Mothers were more nurturers. Right. It's very hard to find a mom who's able to give love,
the same level of sternness that's required to actually push. Yeah, because when we try to push, it's a little different. And then the kids, I mean, we just talked about this with our sons. Like the kids come to you and like this and that, and before you know it, you can't even follow through with what you intended to do.
That just takes me back to that topic we were having, raising boys and girls. Where women, you would think that it's very different. Your boys, you said, love you differently.
Yeah, they do.
And for some reason, the girls become a little bit more independent. Yep. Now it just opens up a whole. It makes me understand life better. We always think like men are a little slower than women, but we do it.
Well, it's part of our responsibility.
I think that is our responsibility.
Yeah. And I mean, as we mentioned, a lot of it too is you're intentional with raising your kids, but I feel like with little boys, you have to be overly more because the things that certain girl like my daughter would do, and she just gets it and she does it, and then my son will come and
she takes them 10 times.
It takes a little bit longer. It
takes
a little bit longer, and it's not. I mean, I don't know what it is, but then the attachment to you as well as their mom, makes it harder for you to really push like you want to. Right, because I mean, my son knows me now. My husband teases that he just runs circles around me.
Yeah.
Because he'll do something, he's like, mommy, and then he'll say, mommy, I love you, you're my best mommy ever. And then I'm like, oh boy. And here we are back to.
No, my son, like, every 5 minutes is asking, mommy, you okay? Are you okay, mommy?
And then you're like,
and he says, I love you like 20 million times.
I know. And then you're like,
and my
I love
daughter's
you
like
too.
rolling her eyes in the corner, so it's like
She does. She's moved on.
Yeah.
Like she's moved on until she's 20, until she's 23 or 24. Then she'll come back.
She'll come back.
Meanwhile, he's like,
are you ready
I
for the
love
teenage years though?
No, not yet.
Because do you remember how you were with your mom at that time?
I have a little bit of an idea, but I went to boarding school.
I did too.
Right.
But
So-
no, let me tell you, my mom was so strong.
Yeah.
The little like short days we spent together, I
Yeah.
remember. Like
Really?
we almost get into fights every time.
I think the boarding school thing was so helpful.
It was.
It was.
I wish they had. Well, they do have that, but it's not the same.
Well,
not the
I'm
same.
researching, but it's a story for a different episode. I am still all for potentially sending my kids to boarding school. I think it's been a fabulous experience for me. I still have
Me
really
too.
good friendships
Yes.
from that experience,
Yeah.
and it's invaluable. I don't know what else can give that sort of
agree.
experience at such a young
loved
age
being aboard. I agree.
that than what we have. But this has been wonderful. I mean, we could keep going, but we'll probably do a second episode at another time and talk a bit more.
Hold on, I don't know why
You have
she's
any
cutting me
questions?
off because
Oh,
I have so
I'm
much
sorry.
more to say.
Okay, let's keep
I
going.
don't know why we're ending this episode. Because I feel like we have a lot of.
We are hanging out. There is no.
Yeah, we're hanging out. Yeah.
There is no hardcore schedule to this. So if we have more questions,
Next time we will be
thoughts,
more prepared and have more insightful.
I think we've been prepared.
I think you did amazing.
You did amazing too.
Thank you. I was a good supporter.
You've been awesome, and
Thank
you've shared the Ziva's World information with
Yes,
us and
guys.
everyone that's watching us.
Ziva's World,
definitely
Instagram,
check it out.
Facebook, YouTube is at
YouTube
Ziva's
is
World.
active. Yeah.
Yeah, and we have merch. We have mascots. I was just telling her how we have done some events for Walmart, some hospitals, schools.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we are actually out there. Just find us.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have your schools can write to us and we can make appearances and come give gifts.
Right,
So check
and
us out.
do you have a mascot? Do you go to events, like small events? Like if there's a
I do birthday
party and
events,
stuff?
yes.
Okay.
Most of my characters are in mascots.
Okay.
So mascot sizes, yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay,
they're
that's
like my
nice.
children.
Yeah.
So whoever, like for instance, I had a friend who had her son was born around Easter. So she
Okay.
used my bunny.
Oh, for Easter
Yeah,
stuff. Okay.
yeah. So we it's flexible. You can use whatever. You can just if you want
They
the
can
monkey,
contact
we
you
can
and use the
contact me, yeah.
monkey and
Yeah,
different
wherever you
things
want,
and stuff.
yes.
That's really good to know.
Thanks.
That's useful information. So I am glad you're able to join me on a Foshty
Yay! I still don't
conversation.
know why we're ending this because we can talk forever.
We really could. We really could.
Oh
But
yeah, I got a free T-shirt today.
we'll
Did
do
I tell you
increments.
guys?
Yes, she has a Foshty t-shirt.
Yes.
And you will be able to access Foshty shirts in a few weeks.
Yes, and you have like so many cool merchandise coming up. Don't like just laugh because
There is
she has like this very catchy. Yeah. You need to get
Yes.
bless us with this, please.
Foshty
Soon.
merchandise is
Yeah.
in the works.
Mhm.
You can get your own Foshty shirt that says "From our shithole countries to
To
you."
you.
As I said, it's a little cheeky. The idea is to be a little fun, a little funny about it. It's
Yeah.
not. I remember talking to someone recently, and I mentioned "From our shithole country." She goes, "Oh wow, people are gonna be offended. It's very political." And I was like, actually,
No, it's not.
I don't think it's that political. The fact that someone else thinks it's political may speak more to why it's actually necessary, right? Because if someone says African countries or shithole countries, then we're saying, well, here we are, we're your doctors, we're your authors, we're your engineers, we are in the C-suites and at a lot of companies, we're your
So-
marketing and brand managers. We're doing so much.
Yes, and basically what
But-
she's doing, she's owning our flaws and turning she's
And switching the story.
and switching the story. Yes, because we have a lot of amazing and gifted people in
Yeah.
Africa. And
Here.
here
At this table.
Yes.
And then we have so
and
many
we have
more,
so many
in the
more to
world.
share. I
Right.
think that what you're doing is very necessary.
Thank you.
It is.
Thank you.
People will enjoy this.
I
And
am looking forward to
I can't wait to have my water bottles and everything
their
else that you have.
water bottles and
Yes.
tumblers and little cheeky comments on
Yes.
shirts and all kinds of stuff, and really more
And
conversations.
maybe-
We're going to have more
Yeah.
conversations. This is not.
And
This
maybe
is
we
not
can
it.
have a Foshty character in Ziva's World.
Maybe we could.
Come and like
talk about the
yeah.
African experience, or pick a country or
Yes.
something. That could be something that we
Yeah.
consider. See,
And just call her
ideas,
Foshty.
options.
Ideas. Yeah.
Options. Thank you again for joining us. And if you have any questions, there's Foshty.com and we have zivasworld.com.
Yes.
You can always reach out to us, and you can reach us on Instagram, and you're on YouTube as well.
I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. What other social media is out there?
I think that's
Google.
Twitter. You're on Twitter. You mentioned Twitter.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Just find us.
Yeah.
Find me.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. I'm on Instagram. Eventually we'll get on YouTube. Eventually. And yeah, so as I mentioned, it was very casual, and we started our Saturday morning
With mimosas.
with our mimosas,
Yes.
cranberry mimosas.
Mhm.
So cheers. It's
So
been a pleasure.
in
Thank you.
Germany, you have to look me in the eyes when you cheers. If
really?
not, yeah.
Oh, enjoy. There you go. Oh, we have to sip it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.